Hello.
Good morning, Monday, whatever.
Good morning and welcome to our Monday. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Every time you say that, I'm like, is that loud enough? This mic is really good though, so it doesn't matter. Because you're usually the quiet sister, Liz.
Don't ask anybody that knows me in person because I'm not, but
I want the pretty colors and the full side facing. Ta-da! We have a lot more of that coming in today, by the way. She's got to find homes for it. But luckily, there's a side of that rack where like half of it's empty.
There's homes. I just have to rearrange everything.
Yeah, I got the FedEx notification that like at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, it was marked like business closed. Don't even try. Like the guy who does our FedEx shipments from overseas knows us well enough that he didn't even put it in the car yesterday. Okay, backing up. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in downtown Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
You got quieter.
Sorry. Then it won't pick you up.
Oh, sure it will. It's got stuff on the back. And
Only
have you ever known me to be quiet?
Only if it's omnidirectional.
I have no idea what setting it's on. Fine, I'll do this. If anyone can't hear Liz, I'm sure you can, but complain. No. Oh God, it's been a weekend, right? So
yeah. Deep breaths.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just realizing, what was I? Oh, I lost it already. Poop. Oh, yeah. I just realized looking at your not the Hap Shawl, the other red thing in front of you. I still haven't put that up online. The new color. If anyone's been dying to buy the new color of Patagonia, because it's on sale until we talk about other things tomorrow, call us because I've taken the photo. I just haven't had time to put it up because I've been a little busy. So, have I mentioned who I am yet?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's right, because then you said you and you were quiet. And
yeah.
I hope you all are enjoying this at home because, oh my gosh. I was telling Liz this morning, my alarm went off. So I have one of those sleep trackers that gently wakes you up within like a half-hour window. And you set the end time of when you need to get up. And then it's like, well, within a half hour before that, we'll find out when you're the most awake and we'll wake you up then. It had to drag me out of sleep at the very end of that window this morning.
I don't have one of those.
You don't have a window.
I don't. Well, I
sleep window.
I'm not going to do a sleep window because the chance that it wakes me up early
is unpleasant.
Is worse than, being jarred out of a nice deep sleep.
Well, see, if it wakes me up early, then I hit snooze.
Yeah.
But snooze is bad because then it's really hard to get out of bed. So this one gently tried to wake me up at the end of that half-hour window. And I woke up not even sure what day it was. Like, I was just like, why is my alarm going off? I don't have to get up today. And then I went, oh, yes, I do. And we were discussing why that is. Because we did enough stuff this weekend that we didn't really have a weekend. Y'all didn't get to shop with us in person. So it feels like to you probably that we had a weekend.
It was.
But we didn't have a weekend.
Weekend before last, we had the Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
Which is both lovely and draining.
Yeah. And then last weekend, our weekend started off with the power's out and
they are
in the middle of the business day.
Okay, so yeah, let's take you through our weekend really briefly, and then we can talk about all our pretties. So yes, Saturday we had a festival in town this weekend, and we don't necessarily profit heavily from festivals, but we're here and we are representing the community, and we had it's the Arts and March Festival. And so some of our knitters were selling goods over at an open air market down, a block or two from us, like block and a half from us, really. No, well, halfway down the block, and we're halfway, one block total. if you actually walk it. Anyway, so
one Brevard block. It's not like a lot of bigger city blocks.
It's a small block. Yes, but it's this way and this way, and there they were. And we had a wind advisory. I feel like did we announce that to people? Like
I don't think we did.
Not here, but we were telling people on knit night and stuff. And
yeah, the wind was supposed to blow between 30 and plus miles an hour.
With gusts up to 50.
Yeah.
And which is like what, and sometimes on Saturdays, that's why I'm thinking of it in this way. Sometimes on Saturdays, we have people come sit and knit outside because we're not doing events inside. This is the most event like we get inside, and it's just us. And so we were kind of telling people not to come on Saturday because it was gonna be crazy.
The wind started picking up right as we were finishing lunch.
Yeah, lunch was rough.
Yeah.
Because we eat outside. Lunch was rough. And then it was getting worse. Like the gusts were like
big potted
crazy.
Plants were blowing over. Yeah, tables and chairs were floating across the patio.
All the stuff out in the patio was not staying put. In fact, it's still where we left it, some of it, because like, yeah, the big, huge potted plants were blown over, and the gusts were strong enough we couldn't stand them back up. And the people from the makers market, most of them left early because all their stuff was blowing all over. Like they couldn't keep their stands going. We lost a Bradford pear over on Main Street, and I think it hit a few cars.
Yep. Didn't hit the building, took out a couple of trucks.
Well, no, it was a car and a truck.
Oh,
but anyway, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know why I'm persnickety about it. It doesn't really matter. It took out vehicles, and everyone came out with all their opinions about Bradford pears, and I'm gonna avoid those right now. So, but like the whole root system, I know they may not have a very deep root system, but it was huge. Doesn't matter if it wasn't deep, it was huge. And yeah. And a particularly large gust came up. And because we have all these windows, we didn't notice until a guy from the gem mine came over and said, did y'all lose power too?
We were standing outside talking to a customer who was just leaving.
Just paid, luckily. 2
customers were just coming up, and someone from the gem mine was like, did you lose power? And we were like, no, and then walked in and went, yeah, we did.
We now know our emergency lights work.
Yeah.
But everything, like all of downtown lost power, which is not a huge area, but it's enough, it's a lot of shops packed in here. That was just before 2:00. So prime time for people to come by. The people who came in were regulars, so we could say, hey, we'll run your card for your purchase when the power comes back on. The second person who came in paid cash, and we had to figure out sales tax on our phones. And
I had to math.
We waited for a while, and it's funny because people online thought that the Bradford pear is the reason we lost power, and it's not. It's just 2 windy incidents happened of note. But it was definitely like, hey, the wind just did something.
It was,
and
it got gustier right as we made the decision to leave.
Yeah.
And then Quixote's had a big sign that was
it's like this big skinny sign that just says Quixote's on it. That
I don't think it was metal. It's like it was compressed cardboard, or
it was something heavy, but not metal. Yeah.
And it was zip tied to the poles with
thick
1/4 inch plus zip ties. And
it was like,
it blew across the patio and hit the windows.
It ripped off over there. It bounced off our windows. I was almost worried about our windows for a second, but they're pretty sturdy. And kids skateboarding on the plaza were only saved because there was a table in the way.
And they helped us. We tucked all the chairs in under the tables. That
one of them helped us.
The
rest of them watched. One of them was very sweet.
Yeah.
They all are a little like, when they come around, I'm just worried
they're like 12.
I'm worried they're jumping off the stairs and gonna run into traffic and die. But one of them was very sweet and helped us.
Yeah.
And they're like preteens. They're at that stage where you're invincible. But that one kid who helped us was kind of saw his life flash before his eyes when that sign went by. And so we finally decided we're not sticking around because the power estimates for restoring power were like 10 p.m. And I understood that because who's going up in these gusty winds? But they had police at different intersections directing traffic because the traffic lights were out. So we packed up and went home. And about an hour after we packed up and went home, power came back on. But it was only long enough for maybe an extra half hour of business. So we did not come back in. Apologies to anyone. Someone walked up because I had to run back and get something from the shop. Like someone walked up wanting to shop right as I was leaving. And we just had to say, I'm sorry, nothing's working in the shop. So that was our Saturday. Like it was, I went home exhausted just from trying to deal with the wind and the patio furniture and the stuff. I went home and just couldn't move. And then Sunday, we took a road trip over to Pearl's Yarn Emporium in, I mean, I don't know if it would be considered South Asheville. Just like South
Biltmore Forest.
Biltmore Forest,
just
you know,
of town.
it's just outside of the main, like they used to be downtown, and they're still in Asheville. They're just south of downtown. On is it Asheville Highway?
Yeah.
Okay. I always forget
25
because all of the roads around here are either named like their nicknames, not their real names. Their nicknames are based on like where you're going or where you're coming from.
It's Asheville Highway if you're heading into Asheville, but it's like Hendersonville Highway if you're headed towards Hendersonville, but it's 25.
It's like 280 is also like Asheville Highway to some people.
Yeah.
And
it
then
depends on where
191 is Brevard Road. And because it's coming to Brevard, kind of, and it's okay. So I used to live in the Mid-Atlantic, and in Jersey, a lot of the roads will have those kind of names, but they'll put them both on the side. The sign, like the road will be like where you're starting from and where you're ending up with a dash in between. But that's the name of the road on the sign. And here, I'm squirrely, but here. God, when we started this channel, I swear I never do this. And here we are doing it. Oh my gosh. But here it's like, you have to know, like Rosman Highway is actually 64. And
it's because you're heading towards Rosman. But if you don't live around here, you don't know that.
But it goes past Rosman.
Yeah.
But so only this chunk is called that. And you just have to know. Anyway, so back to where I was. We went and visited Pearl's Yarn Emporium at their new location, and it's really cute. And we were dropping off stuff for the yarn crawl so that all the shops could pick up their prizes and fun things for the yarn crawl.
We had a mission. We weren't just going to visit for going.
I would love to visit all the other yarn shops, but oh my gosh, that was our day off. And I'm feeling it now that we didn't just stay put on our day off. But it was very nice to see them, and we're excited. Like, this is my one announcement for this show about the yarn crawl. It is the first week of May 3rd through 7th. We will be having fun things happening at the shop, and the other 10 stores, there's 11 of us total participating, we'll be doing fun things. So visit us. Yay. Okay. So that's like what, 5 weeks away now? I think it's 5 weeks because I'm keeping track.
Yeah. We have April, and that's it.
Yeah, like this week and April, and that's it. And then it's here. And that's like both awesome and slightly terrifying from, a prep point of view. But so that was Sunday. And then Monday for me is always busy. Newsletter, and we're switching gears now. Well, we're going to talk about the Ranunculus in just a second. We are both wearing our Ranunculi because that knit along starts, we designated April as the beginning of the Ranunculus knit along. And that's Friday, right? So I've been saying it like in my newsletter. It starts this weekend, and people on the Facebook knit along group some have already started. Liz has already started. I have already started, but it's so I can stay ahead of y'all in some way. Except for the people who've already started.
I could narrow down which one I was gonna do.
But you're doing all of them.
Well, so far. But eventually one or two are gonna, become front runners.
Get actually finished.
Yeah.
What? So we'll switch gears to the Ranunculi in a second, but I thought we'd take a couple minutes and, because of all this, I got in late today. Are we surprised? No. That apparently is my new normal. I also was behind a very slow cart, but I can't blame them because I left the house late anyway. My fault. So before we switch to that, let's talk briefly about non-ranunculus things. So you are working on your Hap Shawl. And someone online, someone in my ad feed more than my news feed is doing a Hap knit along. I'll have to look it up and show it to you. And they're doing like prizes and everything. Our knit along is just, hey, let's all make this sweater. Isn't this fun? I don't have I don't have special goodies. I just have yay sweater. That's as far as I can go right now. How's your Hap Shawl going?
In my phone call moments of this weekend, like I talked to my brother and I work on my Hap, and I talked to a girlfriend from college and I worked on my Hap.
Because it's semi-mindless knitting.
It is, except for right now, beginning of the row.
You're stuck on.
I know.
Yeah, there you go.
Except for the beginning of the row, but
if you remember the beginning of the row,
I do remember the beginning of the row,
and you're okay.
Supposedly, there we go. I am on my. I want to say
here's a corner.
There's a
and here's here's her needle.
I have done from just about right here up since Saturday.
This thing's gonna be huge.
It is. And I'm on my third. Wait, 1, 2. I'm on my third ball of yarn.
Third ball of double stranding Mayu Lace. Woo! We got a lot of Mayu Lace to show off today, actually. And let's see. So I was gonna say something. Yeah, that's the center square of her Hap Shawl, and then she's gonna put edging on it. So you're getting there on being done with your center square. And yes, there's gonna be
snags and sometimes it just snags.
Be thankful you don't live with a cat.
I know. But I have decided that I am going to pay someone to block it.
I think that's smart. Yeah. We know someone.
We do. So
speaking of cats, side story. I am filming my morning meditation, which is the one thing I want to talk about that is not probably the only thing. Well, I got one other thing that's not Ranunculus related. This is my study in pink.
Or coral.
Well, the pattern is called Study in Pink. I'm doing it in a nice coral color. And I'm doing it on Mayu Lace, even though it is written for fingering weight. So you can totally do it in fingering weight. I stayed up last night, not longer than I was going to, you know. I got the knit around rows after the second increase row done so that I could do a little bit of lace. And let's see if I can get it. There's just the littlest bit of the start of lace there. Like if I hold it up against my dark stuff, you can kind of see it. So the lace work at the top of this, but I'm doing this for morning meditation and I'm trying to get around one whole row. I got around half a row because I was thinking I was going to do more. I'm kind of glad I didn't because I'm already running late. The cat's sitting next to me by the window and he's messing with something. And I look over and yarn from probably my big sweater, you know, so chunky yarn from this sweater. Some of the ends were right by his little window seat and he's going like this and he's trying to eat a chunky scrap of yarn, which resulted with me hey, and running after him. And when I was like, no, he looked at me like this, it's already in his mouth, and he leapt and ran from the room like a herd of elephants. Luckily, I found the scrap in the other room because I did stop filming and go chase him because the last thing I needed was that stuck in his stomach.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes he doesn't give a monkey's butt about yarn, and sometimes he does, and it's just like have to be ready for those moments. Who knows how many moments happened when I wasn't home, right? So but I'm really excited. Like this was stretched out on these 32-inch circulars when I first put them on there, and now look at this. Like this is going to take forever, but let me see if I can get over my, but it's gonna be so pretty. Look at that, it's gonna be so pretty. I hope it fits because I was realizing that I got gauge on stitches, but never really even remotely checked my row gauge. So, which usually isn't right anyway. So hopefully the lace weight won't make the rows super teeny tiny and it doesn't fit, but because it's top down, I will try it on as I go. So, let's switch gears to the Ranunculus because we only have like 15 minutes left anyway. Like heads up for all you watching, this is not going to be an hour-long episode because life. By the way, this Mayu Lace is just so lovely. I should say, for switching gears and going to the Ranunculus. So we're both wearing our Ranunculi that we made before the knit along last year or the year before. Yeah, probably in the last year too.
I've made this. I wore to the last SAP I went to.
Okay. Oh gosh. So you made the pattern came out in 2017. So if you made it more like when the pattern first came out, I like wearing it over one of my light colored t-shirts because then you can really see the lace work in it. What's cool about the Ranunculus is you can pick different weights of yarn to knit it from. She recommends anywhere from a lace weight to a worsted weight. Everything is knit on a size 10 needle. And even if your gauge is a little bit wonky, you can, like, even if you are a tight knitter, if you pick enough positive ease, if you pick a size that's bigger than you, it's designed, like, look at this. It's designed to have a ton of positive ease. And it's designed to have a lot of room in it. And if you pick a size that's got tons of room in it, even if you're a tight knitter on a size 10, it will still fit you because it's meant to be oversized. And like Liz always goes even bigger, but you can follow the instructions and do a cropped version, but you don't have to. When people look at my sample on the mannequin, they're like, oh, but I don't want something that's short. So knit it longer.
I made this one longer than
if you want,
I wanted.
Yeah, if you want to indulge in different things with it, stay up for a second.
Okay.
Because I did the shortest sleeve version, which is just when it comes to sleeve separation, you just bind off the stitches. So this is almost like a little vest. And someone said, oh, it's a vest. I'm like, yeah. But you did you do sleeves and then an edging?
I did sleeves and then an edging.
Yeah, because she actually knit out from the sleeve separation.
Yeah.
And an edging. Like there's this littlest bit of raglan seam before you separate the sleeves. And so she made her sleeves longer. Like look, hers goes below her elbow. She did do a crochet edging that's not in the pattern, but you can Carolize this. You can Lizify it. You can do whatever you want with it. I did the regular bottom, but I could have knit this much longer. The ones I'm going to make moving forward are going to be much longer.
On your neckline, you did the crochet.
Mm-hmm. I actually have samples to show. I did the crocheted cast on. You just did 90 stitches.
I did 90 stitches.
She did.
It's a generous.
She did a really wide neckline. She didn't follow either of the cast-ons in there. She made up her own, which is fine. For people who want to do tighter than she hasn't, because this is what happened when I like the stretchy neckline in terms of having room. If you don't want it this wide, you can try something else, but you must figure that out because we can't guarantee anything. So this is 60 stitches with her tighter of the two loose necklines. But this is great because you can see all the lace work in here, all the fun stuff. And again, mine was done on a sport weight animal fiber blend. It's got like alpaca. It's got some viscose or something in it, but it's not like, I wouldn't put this anywhere near a summery plant fiber. It's something that's kind of good when you're in between temperatures. I just wanted to see what would happen. It only took a ball and a half of the Alba to make this, but I did make everything short. I picked a big size, but I made everything short.
I did this one on an 11 needle.
Mm-hmm. With a sport weight.
Weight, because my first one I did in a lace weight on 10. Mm-hmm. And the neckline for me was too tight. So I was like, I'll go up. I'll start with 90 stitches because your first increase is the 90. And so I was like, I'll just do that. And I liked the drape of the bigger, like if you're going to do lace weight on a 10, anything bigger than lace weight, you might as well do bigger needles. So, but I did shrink the size down one size in her old pattern where it was like, this is your best size, do this size. Yeah. And I went down one size on that. I'm not sure what size I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm still figuring, and there's room. So Liz has started a bunch. We'll talk about that in a second. There's room. I lost track of what I was going to say. Her new pattern. Yeah. There's room there's time to choose what size you want because the first few sections of it is the same for everybody.
You don't start with the sizes until you're at the ring right here.
Like after all the top shaping, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not sure what size you're going to make, I mean, it's good to pick a size to know roughly how much, I lost a stitch here. That's okay. I'm going to deal with it later. It's good to, I was taking it on and off these and it's good to know what size you want to make to estimate how much yarn you're going to need, but you're not locked into that until you start doing the shapings and stuff. So This is, I'm making two. I'm doing one on a different color of Mayu Lace. I'm just like obsessed with Mayu Lace right now. I wanted to do two at opposite ends of the spectrum. This is kind of in the middle. So my Mayu Lace, I'm going to be gentle with it because I got to fix a drop stitch, but it's on barber cords from my filming this weekend. I started filming this weekend to try to help people out. I cannot promise I can keep up these videos because I filmed enough for 4 short videos yesterday. This is why my phone had to rip me out of sleep this, overnight. Yeah. So I've put up 2 because I haven't edited the other 2. I filmed, but I haven't edited. This is my Mayu Lace. I did the wider, see that it's going to be a wider neckline than what I'm wearing right now. I did the double twist loop cast on, which I filmed a video for, and it's up already. I did not use this in the video. I used thicker yarn in the video. So, but it's going to be like lacy and see-through and more gauzy than this, but it's still going to have that pattern to it. It's going to be really pretty. The other one that I'm doing is, yes, I started this one. Again, I have to stay ahead of y'all. If you haven't started yet, I hope, try not to get upset because technically we don't kick this off until April, but the Echo Point, I feel like I got to stay, like I wanted to go super slow on so I could bring up the rear. And this one, I feel like I have to be one step ahead on. And I'm already behind some of y'all.
Because you're doing some videos with it. Like
most of the videos are going to use this because this is made with Cumulus Rainbow. I'm already like out of the dark red range and into the color changing. They don't knot this when it runs out. They just cut it and start the new one. So I went, oh, look, there's the end and I got to start again. So I have to tie in. I have to in the collar, but whatever. I did the crocheted cast on for this, which releases to a tubular cast on, but it's not the regular tubular. That I have filmed the footage for, but I haven't released it yet. So I feel like these are crossover episodes with the Sun Dragon tips and tricks because I have this over on Sun Dragon tips and tricks. So this will have a neckline more like this guy. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Anyway, so the ones that you have started, because I have things to show off, which there might not be time until Thursday to show off. What happened here? I think my cat happened to this here. There's like this fuzzy thing here. Anyway, squirrel. So you're making, show us these.
I'm making 4 right now. It'll get thinned out. I work in a yarn shop, people. I work in a yarn shop. So don't try if you don't want to. This one is Zombie Shuffles. It's fingering weight on a 10.5.
Oh, that's pretty.
And
so you're doing a variegated.
I'm doing a variegated. And then my red one is sport weight. It's sport DK.
It's like the same as this, but a different fiber.
And it's on 11s. Spread that out. And then I'm doing the Zoe on 11s, and it's a sport DK as well.
Zoe is a plant fiber, so it's probably behaving slightly differently.
It behaves very different.
If you're going to pick a plant fiber because you want to make this as a summer top, just know that it's not going to have as much give for pulling special stitches in different directions as a wool will, but it will behave more like a summer top when it's done.
And then I had a plan for a sweater that I really wanted to do with Catching Fireflies from Daydream Dye Works, and then green wool. And so this is going to be my worsted DK weight. And wait, it's variegated, but I'm also,
it may not catch on camera, but you can see the stitches.
In the flower part, I'm switching out to the green that I have. So it'll be catching flyers and then
catching flyers,
catching fireflies. And then the green, the dark foresty green, and then go back to the catching fireflies. And
she's gonna do a stripy fun thing.
I'm painting. Rebecca goes, oh, so you're painting with yarn? And I went,
yeah. And if you want to do that,
in my head that I have to do it.
And if you want to do that, do that. If you want help with us to do that, we're gonna say have fun and be adventurous. So We might have advice, but we might not have time. So the Knit Along Facebook group is, I have set that up so I can post things. I'll try to post them other places too. But I have that set up so maybe y'all can help each other out, because there's lots of you and one of me. There's 80 people in the Knit Along group now, which is awesome. I can't respond to everything. I would love to. I would love to like clone myself and do all that. The thing I did, I'm going to try to show this off pretty quickly. The experiment I did, and I filmed it. The first video I released was all these different tops. All of these, so I did the, let's see. I think these are my two done, and I did collars only, all out of Fiber Space Vivacious DK, which I will say is a stretchy yarn to begin with. Has a lot of give to it. But I did her different cast-ons, and then I did, if you just wanted to do a regular long tail cast on, what should in theory happen. But you found when you did it, it didn't go over your head. Everything I made went over my head. But
it could have been the yarn.
Yeah, but I can't guarantee, like, because even the one I did out of plant fiber went over my head. So, but we're going to run out of time. So I'm going to try to show these off. We'll return to it on Thursday if we get some email, like, can we? What I did, which is really cool, is I held it up to a ruler. So this is the twisted double, let's see, double twist loop cast on. And I did a video with this, and see how stretchy that is? It's super stretchy. So when it's just, you know, not being worn, but it has the potential to stretch out. And sometimes the weight of your whole garment will stretch it out. So nice and big, right? This is with a heavy DK. And then the crochet tubular cast on doesn't go quite as far. Like if I hold these up next to each other, like I can pull this one a little further than this one. But this is the crochet. This is like the one I'm wearing right now. But the edge is stretchy, which is kind of nice. Then if you just wanted to do a double loop, you take that back. If you just want to do long tail, this is my 60 stitches on long tail. It still will go over my head, right? I can still put this on, but it's gonna maybe be a little bit tighter. I can't promise it's gonna be as tight as you want. If you want a really tight neckline, but compared to the other loose one here, like see how much I can pull that? I'm pulling these as much as I possibly can. And I'm getting a few more inches out of hers.
I think part of my tight was it was silk.
Mm-hmm.
So there,
I'm going to show this last one, which again has some, this is regular long tail and long tail when holding two needles together. And I'm going to try to put a video up about that. That's awkward for me to do, but I can, I want to say holding two needles together got me just about as much give as the tubular. So if you don't want to try one of these fancy ones, like I can get a little bit more out of holding two needles together to do long tail, right? Just to see what would happen. This is the Belviso, which is a bunch of different plant fibers. It's like a fingering weight. It's like a heavy fingering weight, but it's all plant fibers. And I will say the top, like it stretches. This is 60 stitches. Yeah. It will go over my neck. It stretches. It might stretch out. It feels tight though. Like this stretches out to go around my neck, but it feels tight up here. So it'll give you a different feel. And I said in my video, I don't know what's going to happen if you use a plant fiber like cotton with not much give and it's thicker than this. It might not stretch as much. So it's something you kind of have to test, which is probably not what everybody wants to hear, is test it. And if it doesn't work out, rip it out. But plant fibers, the nice thing is most plant fibers, if you have to rip it out, the yarn's going to be fine. So we need to open the shop. I'm going to keep all these collars here in the shop. So if people want to come feel and play and see the difference, I probably should mark them because I'm going to forget which one's which. And there's only a couple that you can kind of tell. But it was both a fun experiment for me and took up a lot of time. So, but that way you don't necessarily have to do it all. Anyway, we have to open the shop. No one's running up this very second. If they do, we will have to run away really fast. Tomorrow we will be advertising more yarns, and I think I might try for a few more like this Belviso. I'm thinking this could be kind of a fun option, as long as knowing if you do a plant fiber, there's hazards with plant fiber that I don't actually know all of the hazards of, because I haven't made a lot of garments out of them, but they could stretch. They might bounce back, but it can't guarantee, you know, that kind of stuff. So we're going to put a handful of other yarns on sale tomorrow, and we'll talk about them tomorrow. And we haven't decided any more than I'm kind of pushing for the Belvisa. They'll be on sale for about a week. And on Thursday, we'll do a Dear Becky and Lizzie. If we don't have any questions, we're probably going to talk about the Ranunculus again, because that's kind of all we're doing right now. Or I'll bring in some other things to show off because we didn't bring them in today. We'll see. We have wiggle room if y'all don't give us something to talk about, which means if you care, give us something to talk about.
Email Liz at sundragonartandfiber.com.
There you go. Tonight is knit night, and so is Friday. And those are from 7 to 9 p.m. East Coast time in the US. And you get in with a shop phone number on Zoom.
828-877-3550.
And our next Sunday one is not going to happen in April, which I know doesn't make sense with the knit along, but there's so much, like you just saw how our weekend went and how we're feeling today. We have so much to do to get ready for things happening at the end of April and in May and Easter. And there's just April's a hot mess. So we love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell,
yes.
all the fun stuff.
Our subscriptions are at 768, I think, last time we checked, which means we are within spitting distance of an 800 sale. So that means like 30 people, just over 30 people, and we get to have another sale.
Yay.
Keep that in mind if you haven't subscribed yet. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe.